Well, looky there, everybody. Good morning on YouTube and everywhere around. Good to have you along here this morning as we just got a little bit of rain finally. Not much here at the ranch, about 10, 15, 20 hundredths roughly. But places all around the area seen that been a heck of a lot more. 8 minutes, 7, 8 before we go crazy. But just to let you know.
Alrighty.
How much rain? How much rain do you guys get over that way? Seen it rain quite a bit.
I don't know for sure. I know we had 3/4 the day before yesterday, and yesterday we had a bunch.
Yeah, good. I mean, it sucks for the rodeo a little bit, but God darn it, it's nice to have moisture in that country.
I don't hear anybody whining too much other than the rodeo.
Just the barrel racers.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've seen a few of them posting on
steer trippers.
Yeah, steer trip, and I've seen a few of them posting on social media about how muddy it was.
Well, actually, last night was pretty good.
Was it?
They took all the mud out and brought new sand in.
Nice.
So,
well, hopefully the ground will be pretty good for the Derby tomorrow.
We'll see. Hopefully it slacks off a little for that, but I don't know. We'll see.
Don't you guys like it a little bit muddy though?
Well, you don't want it too muddy, but yeah.
Can't really get too hard of hits. God, was that last?
You get stuck.
Freaking last year, man. There were some hard hits, and that one guy refused to put his flag out, and he got pushed over the damn pipe and everything.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I enjoy it.
It'll be a good time.
Yep. Been up to Sakakawea lately, or what?
Not since the Governor's Cup.
How'd you do?
Not the best. Yeah. Not as good as we should have done.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yep. Did my first one. I did the Dakota Walleye Classic. That was my first one fishing tournament I ever did here. First day sucked. Second day we did all right.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. One day good and one day bad.
Yeah,
that was quite a deal.
Guys got to have bigger boats to get. I mean, the better fishing at Dakota Walleye Classic definitely is going west. There's no doubt about that. And in order, we were in the second run, the second group on the first day. So we went east. We caught a few here and there, and there's some fishermen over there, I guess, but the next day we were one of the first ones out. So we took off, went west, and some of these bigger boats, they were in the second heat, and I think they passed us.
Right. we had rough water when in the Governor's Cup. We had, I think it was up to 50 mile an hour wind.
Oh, good grief.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah. Seems like they bite a little bit harder when it's a little bit choppier, isn't it?
Yeah. If you can stay on top of them.
Yeah. Good grief. I'm looking out the window this morning, Jake. I know over in your country here, but we got smoke thicker than hell right now.
Oh, do you?
I can't even see a mile.
I guess I haven't looked outside.
Yeah, it's not fog. I know that.
Yeah, it looks like the same here.
Getting tired of that, man. Hope all these all the people that are worried about the spotted owl, I hope they realize how much habitat they're taking and how many what they're killing out there by not letting the log.
Yeah, that's quite the deal. Yeah. Well, this rain will help a bunch.
Yeah. That is true.
Oh. And I know hopefully maybe wash away a few of the grasshoppers. God knows they're bad enough this year.
Grasshoppers and flies.
Yeah, the flies have really come on. Yeah.
Deer flies in my south pasture. Oh my good grief, they've been just terrible.
Really, I haven't seen one yet.
Oh man.
Or a mosquito.
Haven't had too much mosquitoes this year. Grasshoppers have been getting more and more. They're done feeding over in that Montana side, and they're coming across the border now. They're looking for more feed.
Well, you guys live in the Garden of Eden over where you're at, so
yeah, it's the Garden of Eden, all right. The Garden of Needing, probably.
Well, compared to us, you guys were the garden eating them the last time I was over there. So.
Yeah. It's kind of goofy. How many cows can you butcher or beefs can you do in a day?
You mean cut up or slaughter? Or?
Just slaughter, like you came out to my place. How many?
Oh, I've done a lot.
Have you?
Yeah.
The folks that were with me that day I came and got the jerky, they were pretty impressed with how everything went, and they're really happy with your prices compared to who they go to. And they just live south of me here, about 12 miles.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I've never really paid that much attention to how many I've done. But I mean, my record on pigs, I believe, is 62.
Jesus.
In a day.
Yeah.
So
that's plenty. That's moving right along.
Yeah, I did 3 semi-loads and they timed me. So the first semi-load, I was doing a pig every 11 minutes. And then last semi-load, I was doing a pig every 7.
Just like anything, I guess, when you get a rhythm and get a style on how to do it that fits you, I suppose it goes pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like
then the beef, like when I was working in the big plants, we'd do, and of course you got more people working also, we'd do 20, 30 a day, pretty easy.
Yeah. Where was that at?
So, I worked in a federal plant, and I was the head cutter in a federal plant in Shelby. And then I also worked at Dakota Pack when it was moving right along back in the day.
Nice.
And I did all the slaughtering at Dakota Pack, so I did everything. But yeah,
that's awesome. No,
too many years.
Yeah, well, it's good that we still have local butcher shops around. It's kind of nice to have.
Well, there's a few new ones firing up here and there.
Oh, isn't there?
Yeah,
Mott. I haven't been to that one, the 701 up in Belfield area.
There's a couple over here. And,
is there?
Yeah, a couple new ones here. Well, one down Leak Lacka, or that one I don't believe is open yet, but then one south of Plevna that is open.
Are they building new facilities or taking over old ones?
Building new.
Are they? Oh.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yep. You never know. It's nice to get new people in. Hopefully they make it and last and everything else.
Yep.
That's a tough way to make a living.
Yeah. But I think there was definitely a resurgence in the mom and pop store, especially butcher shops, COVID last year.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's a dying breed. It really is.
Yeah,
especially on the end, like I do it.
Yeah, like same as grouse hunters.
Yeah,
don't see many of them anymore.
No, not really. No, there's a lot of grouse too.
Yeah,
I think they had record hatches this year. All the birds, man. I couldn't believe there's a couple places going on the highway that pheasants were just ridiculous with young ones.
Good.
Of course, everybody was out on the highway scarfing grasshoppers up too.
I suppose. Yeah, I haven't seen any. We don't have pheasant in my country here, but all right. Well, Jake, we got about 45 seconds here before we go. I'm going to turn you down, and I'm going to talk to the stations here a little bit. So stand by for me here. Stations, we got 45 seconds, and Mark Whalen, good morning. We got Pierre ready, Mobridge ready. Good to have you guys along. Let's have a little fun. Make sure I'm ready. 30 seconds. Stations, 30 seconds on Mark. 30 seconds. 15 seconds. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Good to have you along. I'm Scott Bachmeyer. Thanks for tuning across the entire Dakota Territory on great radio stations like KOLY Mobridge, K-Fire 550 in Bismarck, Mandan, KGFX in Pierre, KLTC in Dickinson, and KCJB in Minot, along with all of you watching on my YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Good to have you along. Today's show brought to you by folks up on the strip in Mandan at Action Motorsports, still offering the Polaris Ag Advantage, which gives any farmer rancher 10% off when they look at buying a brand new Ranger, General, or Sportsman. Supporting those who feed the world, it's Action Motorsports on the strip in Mandan. Jake Wagner from Hanhing W Meats out of Baker, Montana joins me this morning. Good morning, Jake. How the heck have you been?
Good. And how's Scott today?
You know, I think everybody, along with myself, is a little bit has a little giddy up to the step after finally seeing a little bit of rain.
Yes, sir.
You know, I think so. Now that we just you and I were talking before we went on the air here, now it's just the smoke we got to get rid of here. What the heck? How many? You got fires right to the west of you in the next county, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much. We had a big one actually here too, not too long ago.
I heard that. Yeah, like 20-some hundred acres. I think that's what I heard. One of my neighbors over here. So what's been going on here? Well, first and foremost, are we doing? Last year we didn't do because of the COVID. We didn't get the wild game feed and all these guns given away here. I know you had to do kind of an alternate way here, but are we going to do the wild game feed and big gun auction this time?
Yes, we are.
Even with the new variant, Jake? Come on. Aren't you scared?
Well, I don't think that I'm going to worry too much right now.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this here because it's kind of a neat thing. It's I don't know what's the official title. I call it the wild game feed here, but what actually is the official title of it?
The Fallon County Wild Game Feed, Memorial Wild Game Feed, Fallon County Memorial Wild Game Feed. Yes. And
let's talk about it a little bit here because all the money you raise, you keep in the localish. I say localish because you just don't keep it in Baker. I mean, you're going out in other rural areas and helping folks that need some money for this, that, and other things. Explain first off what we're looking at here for besides just wild game feed. I mean, we'll talk about the food later, but what all do you do here?
Well, we're a nonprofit entity that helps other nonprofits that are in need of money. So we help people, or we help organizations that need financial assistance, whether if they need to generate money for grants to get things accomplished, or if they're just actually in need of money to keep what they're doing going. We've helped fire departments, ambulance services, historical societies, youth groups, churches. If it's 501(c) that's legit, we try to help you out if you need some money.
And let's talk a little bit about the event here this year. Since we kind of missed last year getting together, what are we going to look at this year here? I mean, first, let's talk about the food side of things. When you talk wild game, you are a butcher by trade here. So, I mean, what all other people can bring food in here? I mean, how does this work?
Actually, I do a majority of the cooking. I have a couple ladies that do some of their things. And, we try to get our hands on as much exotic stuff as we can, obviously. I say exotic, and it's not necessarily exotic, but, bear and mountain lion and things, bighorn sheep, things like that.
Sure.
The deer, the antelope, the elk, that's usually all local stuff, either shot by my family or friends. We have a pretty good variety every year, and it's really good food.
Where do you find the mountain lion at, Jake?
I get them from kind of all over. The fishing game knows that I'll take them. So when they're checking lions, they'll tell them if they don't want the meat to bring it to me.
Because I love it. I mean, that's one thing I take every year. I go get a bowl of that stew, and it is good. I love. People think I'm crazy, but mountain lion is actually really good meat.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So
it really is.
What's the most craziest thing that you made for food wise?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I don't know. It depends on what you call crazy.
Prairie dog.
Nothing. No.
That's a hard no. That was a hard no.
Yeah, it was.
So I can't donate any of those here after I go out and shoot some today? No? Okay.
Probably the only thing I can think of that would be that most people wouldn't have had before would have been a yak.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. We don't have many of them around.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But how many people do you usually bring through and feed? I mean, it's a heck of a lot of people.
We don't have a door counter or anything like that. I would go by sites. We're in the largest building that there is in the county. And we probably, we probably feed over 1,000, and we have over 1,000 in attendance for the whole evening. So it's pretty big. I mean, we've feeding like 40 some roasters of food, or 50, I believe, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And and no charge, which is nice.
No, there's no charge. It's free will donation for the food. So, you can throw $1 in, or you eat for free. I mean, you can throw 100 in. It's totally up to you. Yeah. And that also all goes to nonprofit. That goes, it's not, nobody makes a dime, and nobody gets paid.
That's what I like about, the way you run things. You go to a lot of 501c3s. They say, well, we're nonprofit, but yet they are looking for a profit. Yours 100% volunteer, donated almost everything out of the whole works, and then you go and give the money to another entity that needs it. There's no doubt about it here. And now we get to talk about guns. We only have a couple minutes before our first break, but this year, for the first year that you asked me to come over and auction this thing, and we'll get into that a little bit here in the next break, though, is I've never seen so many guns in one place to be either auctioned or given away or anything like that. But let's start with just the amount of guns. What's the number this year that we're going to be expected to give away?
We're right up against 100 right now.
We got 100 guns. And not only that, but some of these come from people's private collections that are pretty darn nice. And you go all over. I've seen you at auctions all across North and South Dakota here, and buying guns and getting some of the more unique ones, as you could say. What's one of the most unique ones we have this year that you're like, this one's going to go for a lot of money?
There's quite a few, actually. There was that one auction you were at. I picked quite a few out of there that were quite interesting. I picked some other ones up that were actual finds that I wasn't expecting how good they were until after I got them home. I've actually got one gun I can't even get a value on
really?
Because it's just all the appraisers I talk to can't give me a hard answer.
That's kind of nice. We'll find out the value. Well, I guess it's depending on which game they play. We'll explain that when we come back here too. But it's not necessarily all new guns that you're giving away. There might be a couple here or there, but what makes you go out to these auctions and get these more of a collector side of things?
Well, one, as you know, it's getting harder and harder to get guns and ammo. Yep. And that's one of the toughest things I always have. But I do have a lot of new guns also, but, I try to go out and find like old lever actions, collectors, stuff you don't see, obsolete. There's people that collect everything. So, there's guns that we'll have there that, you probably never find ammo for.
No, you might have to cast your own.
But they do, they're worth some money too. And, it's just, people like different things. What you like, I might not like. So we try to get a little bit of everything.
You bet. Jake Wagner's my guest here. We'll come back after the first break here and talk more about the guns, how many, and kind of the games that we play and auction things off here at the Fallon County Wild Game Feed. Coming up more after these messages.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe.
Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Molrest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Hi, this is Andy Morongo, Piper's Auctioneers, hosting these farm, retirement, and estate auctions in Steele, Fargo, Bismarck, Bowman, Norwich, Regent, Ken Marin, Turtle Lake, North Dakota, Glendon, Minnesota, and Sioux Falls and Worthing, South Dakota, featuring farm equipment, construction equipment, trucks, trailers, coins, toy tractors, guns, and more. Also, advertising deadlines are approaching on Piper's regional equipment auctions in Bowman, Steele, and Sioux Falls. Contact Piper's Auctioneers for more information. Full inventory and equipment details are available at pipers.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
Are you looking for a home loan? Dakota Community Bank and Trust makes it easy and convenient to find the best loan program and most current rates available. Whether you are shopping for a home for the first time or thinking about new construction or refinancing, we offer the assistance of an experienced mortgage officer, together with a convenient online or in-person application process. Let us walk alongside you to find that exact loan to meet your specific needs. Find your local home loan officer at dakotacommunitybank.com.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Molrest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors, the Saturday edition. Live and local all across the Dakota Territory. Great stations. K-Fire 550, Bismarck, Mandan. KOLY and the Lake Oahe, heart of Lake Oahe and Mobridge, South Dakota. KGFX in Pierre. KLTC in Dickinson and KCJB in Minot across and around the world here on YouTube, all around there. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Jake Wagner is my guest here this morning. Jake, guess what I get to do this evening, I should say.
And what is that?
I am going to be traveling to Bismarck, and I am going to go to an event called Woofstock. Have you heard of this?
I have not.
All right, so it's a big fundraiser for some rescue shelters for animals, and I did some auctioning and for a fundraiser before, and this group of this table of gals, and we were just a blast. And toward the end of the night, we got auctioned off as auctioneers. We got auctioned off and raised a little bit more money, and they bought us. And we ended up striking up a conversation. They said, we'd love to have you guys auction for us tonight. So I got a fundraiser at Buckstop Junction in Bismarck this evening. It's Woofstock, and I'll be the auctioneer trying to bring in some money and help out there too. So there you go.
Well, that'll be a good time.
Should be a great time.
They got a good auctioneer on top of it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I tell you, we've been doing a lot of fundraisers, and people, you'd think after the COVID thing and not many people going back to work afterwards, and you think the money would be tight, but people have really opened up, and it seems fundraisers have been doing very well lately. And I hope that works out for you coming up here this fall. Or is it November that we do the wild game feed auction? Is it
November 13th?
November 13th is the date. Okay, so we were talking the guns and what you're offering here. So I have a message that came in, and if you want to call in and ask Jake any questions, I don't care if it's from butchering to hunting to guns. The guy has it. In the toll-free number is 888-932-5682. That's 888-932-5682. Or you can just message it to me at 701-425-6651. My buddy over in Mobridge says any old military stuff like Mausers, Enfield S's, and all that kind of stuff, because this guy loves shooting that old military style. What do you got?
Well, hopefully he's still listening and on because actually this year I've put together. I had 2 years to get it done, and I got it done. I put together a military table, and I have some doozies.
Yeah.
And I'll run through them, and I might forget one or two, but I'll have the majority of them there. But I have a Winchester Enfield, which would have been a World War I gun. They only made them for 2 years. And that's chambered in 30-06. And then I have an M1 Garand, also chambered in the same. I have a 30 carbine that was made by Rockola in 1939. Looks in outstanding condition. I have a Japanese Nambu officer's pistol from World War II. I have an M11 12 gauge that is just, it's a beast. It's a mean looking machine. I have a Springfield Armory and a 3040 Craig that after we got it home, we found out it's a cavalry edition, which is extremely rare. That gun's worth a pile of money. Thousands.
Wow.
When we also have a tribute table, they come out with an Iwo Jima tribute. If you could look them up online, they are amazing. And there's a set of 3, and we have the complete set. The pistol, they only made around 50 of before they quit making them because of COVID, and we have that whole complete set. We have, and there's other military in there that he asked about Mausers. I have an 8mm Mauser certified original. Another tough thing to find that's certified completely original. We've got some interesting things there.
He just messaged back. He says that Rockola is the holy grail of all of them. So, Gene, you need to come over this thing. You can jump in with me. He can meet me in Rame. He can jump in with me. We'll come over. We'll have a good time, and he'll hopefully spend some money here and take some of that. That'd be fun to have him over there. He's a wealth of knowledge. I should have him. One of these days, I'll have him on the program too. One of these days, here talking about lever actions. So, all the guns that you have, which one do you feel in your mind is the top-notch one? Which one would you want to take home?
It's really tough. That's a tough question.
I know it is.
The other thing, we put sets together also, and when we give them away, they get the whole set. So like that Iwo Jima set, that is one complete set that goes to one person will win that.
I love it. So some of the games that
I
we
have
do.
another.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to explain this because you do a thing. Are you going to be doing the cap auction again?
Yes.
Okay. So what you do? How many is it? 13 different
Yes.
ball caps, and
Possibly 14.
Possibly 14. And it's a guaranteed. Like if you buy one of these ball caps at the auction, that determines what number you get to go on that table and choose at the after we're done auctioning them off. I mean, it's pretty cool how you do this because each ball cap has a number in it. You don't know which number it is. And then you also do another auction called, are you going to do the whiskey flask, the flask auction?
Yes.
And
yes, that's the lever actions. That's the lever action.
Yeah. So if you buy a flask, it's a guaranteed gun auction. You buy that, but it all determines on what number you get to go up on that table and choose. It's just kind of cool because there's 13 and 21 guns right there that people are always willing to just go crazy on them because you have such good selection on those tables. And on the ball cap one, what do you got for some of those guns? Do you have those kind of figured out yet?
Oh yeah, I've got some of them. Socked away for there. I've got on the hat table. I have it's a Weatherby 35th anniversary edition. I believe it's in a 7 mag. Beautiful gun. They of course that come out several years ago, and I actually bought that at the auction you were at.
Oh sure.
And I think that gun alone is it's worth over $3,000 and or more. Just the way it sits.
Well, I didn't make you pay that much for it, though. I know that.
it's and then of course we have new guns. I have Browning X-Bolt white gold medallion. I have a 250 Savage in an anniversary edition. I have that. That's where that Browning Sweet 16 that I can't find the actual value of. Mm-hmm. I do know the gun is worth thousands of dollars. I know that much. Because it's one of the first edition Sweet 16s in the early 1900s, and it looks brand new. Yeah.
Besides auctions, where do you go to find some of these? Because it is hard to find any firearms right now that are worth a darn in any store that I've been through.
I have one gun dealer I've done a lot of work with through the years. This is actually his last year helping us, and I'm phasing in a new gun dealer. Mm-hmm. But I literally spend a full, complete 12-hour day in front of a computer with him, going through all the warehouses, trying to find different calibers, different guns. Right. And then we put our, we if they're there, we get them coming. We put a wish list together. We add to the wish list, depending on what pops into my head or what we find. And we go from there. And it literally takes months upon months to get everything coming. We used to do strictly nothing but new guns, but we've switched now here, and we try to bring in some of the old stuff, and then the old levers and the old military and stuff like that, and not just used long rifles, but used guns that are worth a pile of money.
And when you say used, I mean it's not like they're beat up.
No,
that's the thing. When people hear that, they're like, "Well, what kind of condition are these in?"
They were made in the late 1800s, and they're in excellent shape. I got a 2520 with a model 51 that. The barrel's perfectly fine in, which is very hard to find. A 2520 that the barrel's not shot out of. Yeah. And this one is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we're up against our second break. We're going to come back, Jake, so stay with me here as we continue talking not only guns and coming up on the wild game feed. We're also going to be talking a little bit of hunting, fishing, butchering. Maybe we'll get his secrets on how to make some of the sausage and jerky that he makes through Hanhing W Meats in Baker. It's Jake Wagner's my guest. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, and we'll continue Dakota Prairie Outdoors across the great radio stations, KOLY in Mobridge, K-Fire in Bismarck, KGFX in Pierre, KLTC Dickinson, and KCJB in Minot. All along with everybody watching on my YouTube channel on Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. We'll be back with more coming up your way. Jake Wagner from Hanhing W Meats out of Baker. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, and more after these messages. Also, don't join me at Wolfstock in Bismarck tonight.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Hi, this is Andy Morogman, Piper's Auctioneers, hosting these farm, retirement, and estate auctions in Steele, Fargo, Bismarck, Bowman, Norwich, Regent, Ken Marin, Turtle Lake, North Dakota, Glendon, Minnesota, and Sioux Falls and Worthing, South Dakota, featuring farm equipment, construction equipment, trucks, trailers, coins, toy tractors, guns, and more. Also, advertising deadlines are approaching on Piper's regional equipment auctions in Bowman, Steele, and Sioux Falls. Contact Piper's Auctioneers for more information. Full inventory and equipment details are available at pipers.com.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
Are you looking for a home loan? Dakota Community Bank and Trust makes it easy and convenient to find the best loan program and most current rates available. Whether you are shopping for a home for the first time or thinking about new construction or refinancing, we offer the assistance of an experienced mortgage officer, together with a convenient online or in-person application process. Let us walk alongside you to find that exact loan to meet your specific needs. Find your local home loan officer at DakotaCommunityBank.com.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Good to have you along this morning. I'm Scott Bachmeyer. And, just one of the things, might be a little bit of fog out here. Jake Wagner's my guest from Hanhing W Meats out of Baker, Montana. I think fog has settled in. I thought it was smoke. Maybe I'm wrong here, but either one or the other. I haven't been outside to smell it, see if it's that way, Jake, but it's so thick right now I can see about 50 yards in front of the yard. So I'll take that over the hot, dry stuff that we've been having, man.
Right.
It's just been one of these summers. It's just relentless on a lot of places, and the farms and ranches have just been struggling with a lot of things. Rural fire departments have been busier this year, I think, than anything else. And just responded to one the other night here at my neighbor's. It was actually in Galva's district, but we attacked it from both sides of the deep stuff in the canyons, and we got her put out here. But man, we've been going to a lot of fires. How's it been in the Baker area?
Yeah, it's been about the same. They've been going all the time, and
yeah,
it's good to see some moisture.
Yeah. So the guy that was talking about military, he says the Rockola Jukebox Corporation only filled 4% of their contract to make 30 carbines during the WW2. He said, so the one that you got is super rare. He says, I just might have to make a road trip.
I have other ones besides that one that are on the rare side. So,
I'm telling you, this guy, he likes that stuff. I hope he comes over and joins me with this here. So there you go.
Yeah.
You're going to see Grant County Fair is going this morning. We got Fallon County Fair in Baker, Harding County Fair in Camp Crook. There's a lot of fairs going on right now, and hopefully everybody's getting a little bit of moisture out of this. So we were talking, and not only the guns that we're doing on the flask and everything, you have a table full, and talk about the kids, though, because one thing that you do that I think is really, really neat is how much you have available for the whole family. It doesn't matter if you're just in the military or if you're just into the hunting side of things, maybe the collecting side, but you also do a lot for the kids.
Yeah. We have two separate kids games we do. One is for any kid, from being a baby in their mother's arms to 17 years old. They come up, and they pick a duck out of the pond and, win a prize, try to win a prize on the first level. And if they win, they advance to the second level. And if they win, it's a better prize. And then they advance to the third level if they win, and that's where the big prizes are. And they can pick a big prize. They win one of the big prizes, like a big screen TV or game consoles or a youth gun or something on that nature. And then we have the 12 to 17-year-old table, which is there's rifles, hunting rifles, for kids that looking to get their first gun. We also have flat screen TVs and stuff like that on that. One of the cool things I have this year for the kids is we went and bought, you'll see them at Runnings, and they have the go-karts and the all-terrain dirt bikes.
Yep.
And so we bought each, one of each, and so there's going to be some kids that get some power toys too.
That's awesome. And you also said you have an ammunition table, which ammunition is like one of the hardest things to find anywhere right now.
Yep. As I was saying during the break, I covered the state of Montana and pretty much the state of Wyoming a couple weekends ago, doing nothing but going to every sporting goods store there was, buying ammo. And there's a lot of things that were tough to find. I found a lot of ammo, actually, when it was all said and done. And I don't have every caliber, obviously, but I have the main calibers, and I'm going to keep buying it whenever I come across it. So we're going to have an ammo table.
And what else? A trip to the NFR.
Oh yeah, yep. We have a trip to the NFR for two nights events. The seats are outstanding. That was donated by C5 Rodeo. That's our stock contractor here at the fair.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done it before. That's a huge ticket. We have hunts. I have a bull elk hunt in North Dakota. I got a couple cow hunts in North Dakota. I have a whitetail hunt in Minnesota, and I got a safari in South Africa.
Nice. Plenty of something for everybody. Let's go to the phone lines here. We got a 220 number. Good morning. Who are we talking to this morning?
Morning, Scott. Jamie.
Hey, Jamie, how are you doing?
Great.
You got to come down to this thing. I tell you what, I don't care if you're deer hunting or not. You got to it blows your mind how much stuff is at this place. What's on your mind today?
It sounds pretty awesome. I got a question for your guest. Last time he was on, I actually called in and I made some beef sticks, pepper sticks out of my mule deer, and then I got to credit him. He told me what smoke to use. It worked out great. But I want him to do a little myth busting for me here.
Okay.
So a lot of people always say, like, when you're antelope hunting or deer hunting, if it's warm out, and I'm talking warm like 60 degrees, not 80. You got to get that meat cooled off right away, or the meat's going to taste like crap. I've hunted when antelope hunting was open in our unit. My buddies would come up and shoot antelope doe, and we'd drive around all day if they'd shoot them in the morning, and it's 60, 65 degrees, and that meat tasted great. I mean, is there anything to that? I don't think there is. If it's, do you have to get it cooled off right away, do you think, or not? I don't think you do, but I'm waiting for somebody to give me a good answer on that.
It's best if you do. There's a fine line there between being fine and being sour. And antelope will do it quickly. But if you've got them opened up where the air can get to them and not piled on top of each other, that's one of the biggest things in the world. You probably could be okay. But I still would, I used to do the same thing as you do, but I don't anymore. I get them in, get the hide off them, and get them in the cooler. Or throw a bag of ice inside of them, et cetera, et cetera. It depends on, where we're at and what we're doing.
Now Jake, to be fair, maybe Jamie just doesn't have a very good palate and everything tastes the same to him.
Yeah, it's pretty cavemanish. There's no doubt about that.
But I do this for a living, and I get sour things in all the time, and elk and antelope are the big two that you're going to see. And you won't really notice it until you start cutting them up or grinding it, and then all of a sudden it'll smell like somebody farted really bad, and then you've got something sour.
Yeah, I've never had that happen, but yeah, like I said, I know there's got to be a point to where you can't. But we used to just drive around, and we didn't pile them up. Yeah, they were gutted and everything, but I don't know, they tasted pretty good, and we did it. But yeah, I'm just
super
curious.
Super cold is as bad as warm. Also, don't ever forget that.
Is that right?
Really? Why is that?
If it's 10 to 20 below, that's worse than that's just as bad as 80 degrees. Because it'll freeze them and
up and hanging in the shop all night.
If it's
super
cold out, what it will do is it freezes the extremities, and then it traps the heat inside the major parts of the body. And they'll sour.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Okay, that's good to know. I know after you leave them hanging in the shop all night, cutting them up the next day, dang near can't do it. That meat's so dang cold, but I didn't know I trapped that in there. That's good to know.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's always big to get the hide off them, just so you can get the heat out.
Yeah. All right, Jamie, thanks a lot, man.
Info.
You bet. See ya.
Yep, have a good day, guys.
You bet. Thanks for calling in here. 888-932-5682. If you have any questions, let's talk a little bit about hunting and taking care of that meat. I'm a stickler on this, Jake. I like to get it skinned. I'd like to get it cooled off as quickly as I can. Not frozen, but at least cooled off so it has a chance, you know what I mean? And get the shoulders off and split it a little bit open, just like you did when you did my beef up here, except I do it inside the shop.
Right.
When you're looking at any game animal, I know elk is a lot bigger of an animal to do this with, but let's just talk deer hunting, since most everybody goes deer hunting around the area. When you shoot that animal, how fast do you prefer to get that hide off and it hanging up somewhere where it's getting airflow?
Well, if it's cool in the morning, most mornings are relatively cool during hunting season. Even antelope, you're still looking at cool mornings.
Mm-hmm.
So if you shoot it in the morning, you're pretty good. But once that starts to heat up, and the sun and the wind come into play, then it's a judgment call. But personally, I like, from deer hunting, I like to be back in town before 10. And if we've got anything, immediately I hang it up and skin it, and it goes right in the cooler. Not everybody has that option to put it in a cooler,
right.
But you want it in a cool place, obviously.
Yeah.
If you can't, or if it's a super hot day, we'll just say it's 75, 80 degrees out, and you're out there and you smack a deer, and you get him gutted, and you get him back to pick up, you got no ice or anything like that, then I would suggest that you open him up at the ball joint the hind legs. Get that ball joint exposed. That's one of the first places that'll sour. Another one is in the shoulders. You don't have to skin them down. It'll make a little bit of a mess, but you can open them shoulders up and front legs off away from the rib cage, and that will help also.
I never thought about,
especially with elk. Those two things in elk are really critical.
Never thought about the ball joint side of things, but you want to talk about some of the best roasts and everything come right from that end where those ball joints are. I never thought of that, getting those broke open.
Yep. That's one of those are your first two places typically, are the shoulders and then the ball joints on your rounds. They're going to sour first.
Can you bone it out too soon?
No. There's areas actually now in Montana, and I'm sure other states too, that you have to, when you come out of the field, it's got to be boneless coming from where you killed it.
Is that right?
You can't. You've got to leave the backbone and the brain there. So if it's got horns, you either have to cut the horns out or you have to cape it. You have to do it right there on the spot. You can't move them.
And that's mostly because of chronic waste disease transferring is what they're worried about that. So how do you get the brains out? I mean, if it's going to be a good European mount skull, and I love European mounts, what's the best way to dig those brains out of there?
Well, you're going to have to spend a little time, and of course you're going to have to get the head skinned out, and then you can go right through the back where where it connects to the spine. Find yourself a stick or something like that and stir them up and try to get them out of there. It's a tough deal, and I don't know how critical the wardens are on it. We're not hunting in an area like that yet. I think I don't know if I agree with it. And there's other counties that they can't leave the county unless they're that way. And, and there's processors there that can handle that or help with that aspect too. But, which is what I think is more the logical answer than have to do it in the field, because you're going to make a mess.
Well, yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Not only that, but say you're hunting on public land, all right, which surrounds a lot of my place up here, and they might do this whole thing right next to a gate and just leave all of that, just all the mess right there, or some places, instead of putting it strategically located where I can hunt coyotes over it or something, But that I agree with you. It should be if you have a processor close by, that would be the best bet. That would be awesome if they'd come out with something like that. But yeah, how's the fishing up in Lake Sakakawea? I mean, you've done a lot of Sakakawea fishing this year. Pretty good.
A fair amount, yeah.
Yeah. How's it going?
It was really spotty. We had days where we tore them up and days where we didn't. I do know that we come off the water one day and the fishing game was there. They were measuring fish, and the kid was up in the boat measuring the fish, and I said, how'd we do compared to everybody else? And he goes, I've had 1 23-inch fish in today up until you come through. Wow. And we had a box. I think we had 9 in the box. Smallest was 22 to 28.
Wow.
So that was one of my better days, actually. I mean, there was different. The fish were different this year. They were there. I could grasp them. You just not always going to hook them up.
Yeah. Water was quite a bit lower this year. Did you find any accidentally find a rock pile?
Yeah, I found a couple rock shelves. That weren't supposed to be there.
Buddy of mine.
It's really changed. I mean, if you're going to the big lakes, and you've been there before, I'm here to tell you, you better have the motor trimmed up a bit and back off the speed.
Mm-hmm. Did you find it easier to find some spots to go fishing, though, that probably were a little bit deeper over the last few years?
Yeah, kind of. But some of them were the same spots we always go, and the fish were still there. It was just, but there's places, my favorite place, I'm fishing 50 yards farther out or more than where I was before, and it kind of screwed it up a little bit, but still found them. They're still there.
What depth were you finding most of them in?
I got them as deep as 27, 28, and then as shallow as 2.5.
Yeah. Well, that's.
And if I'd have been fishing shallow during the Governor's Cup, we probably would have won it, because that's where the big fish were. And I kept thinking that they were moving out, but they weren't. They were moving in, which made no sense.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what makes you think? Why were they moving into the shallows at that point? It was windy. You said during the Governor's Cup. Were they just trying to get in those mud mines
moving in to feed and then moving back out back out after they fed what they were doing. And that was tough.
Yeah.
So,
text message comes in, says, what's the recommendation mixing for sausage? I'm guessing wild game versus pork, I'm guessing, is what I always go 50-50. Is that something you do?
So my run of the mill at the meat shop is a third. That's not what I would recommend, but that's, for the Joe Blow coming through the door, that's what our ratio is. Mine personally, my own personal sausage. So if I've got 50 pounds of deer, I've got 50 pounds of pork or more.
Or more. Okay. Well, I go 50-50 is what I usually use. Now, do you make your own seasoning mix, or is there some that you recommend people look at, in runnings? I see there's big shelves of them and all that.
Right. I order a lot of my stuff in bulk, and then we will add some stuff to them. Some of my own recipes are my own, like my brats are my own. My German is my own. Everything else is pretty much stuff I get in or a seasoning company puts together for me. Our hot dogs are bomb, which I think you can attest to that.
Here's the thing. I was talking to my wife about these here the other night. So Jake he butchered a beef for us, for those listening. He butchered one of my beefs. And he says, well, you got to have some of these hot dogs, these beef hot dogs. And I'm like, okay. And one of our neighbors gave us some to try out. I don't think that you can call them hot dogs. I think it's not like what people think hot dogs. To me, it's like a cross between a brat and a hot dog kind of a style. So I don't know if you're going to call them hot dogs, they're by far hands down the best hot dogs you'll ever eat anywhere in the nation, and so I don't know if you may have to call them something else there, Jake. Come on.
Well, that's what we call them, and I haven't had a person yet that don't like them, and and you say hot dogs, and people kind of look at you funny, which I would have done the same thing, but they're tasty, and that's actually a seasoning I get out of a seasoning company out of Three Forks, Montana, and she had to talk me into getting this seasoning and trying it. I mean, she had to talk really hard because I've watched hot dogs made too many times, but we make them from the right parts of the animal. Right. It's not what you think, but it's when things are made right. Because I make bologna also from scratch, and when you make bologna from the real part of the animal, it's not like the bologna you buy in the store. And same way with these hot dogs.
Exactly.
You're using the exact same seasoning. So when you say that, it's just more the parts of the animal you're using than what it actually tastes like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like a big company where they're going to make use of every single part of this animal. You're taking the good cuts here and using that for the meat. But yeah. Well, Jake, if people have questions or comments on anything, whether it's the wild game feed, if it's processing, if it's just talk a little bit, how can they get in touch with you? Donations or whatever?
Best way to get hold of me would probably be the shop number. I have if I were not there, we have an answer machine, and that would be the 406-778-2181. We have a Facebook page for the wild game feed. You type in Fallon County wild game feed, but it's going to take you right to it.
Perfect. Jacob, I appreciate you coming on the program here this morning and making a little time on a Saturday. And thanks again for all the advice. And I can't wait till November, man.
All righty. Well, hopefully we can do it again before that time.
You bet. I'm happy to have you. You maybe come out to the ranch and do it here live, and we'll do taste testing at the same time.
Have to do a night edition.
Yeah, we'll go on YouTube night edition. Thanks a lot, Jake. You have yourself a good day.
Yeah, you too.
You bet. Jake Wagner from Hanhing W Meats. If you have more questions, comments, Fallon County Wild Game Feed is the Facebook page, and you can go right there on Facebook itself. Big thanks to everybody tuning in here this morning. And, if you're watching this as a rerun later on, thanks for checking in on YouTube. Now, Action Motorsports, one of the sponsors here. Today's the last day for Britt Circoni. He's leaving Action Motorsports. He's moving west. And so today is his last day. Rumor has it he's going to be a professional noodler for something like badgers or catfish or something. But anyway, it's his last day. He says, tell everybody to swing by and tell him good luck and say hi to him and all that good stuff. So good luck to you, Brett. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, DakotaPrairieOutdoors.com. Eat some meat, drink some milk. Have a good weekend. All right, stations, thank you. YouTube, have yourself a great day. Appreciate it.